I'll launch our meeting. I'm Stephanie Walsh. I'm the president of the Neighborhood Association, Highland Park Community Council. If you are not familiar, we are the registered community organization for the neighborhood. That's a status bestowed upon us by the city. We met certain requirements, and it gives us sort of some standing when entities are doing development projects that meet certain thresholds, and they have to go before one of several city committees and commissions. And so before us today, we have we have the zoo project. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find the name of your company. I'll let you guys introduce yourself. We're hearing about a project for a new ungulate barn at the zoo. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Russell and John. You can introduce yourselves, and who wants to? John, do you want to share your screen, or Russell, do you want to share your screen?
I'll be the one sharing. Yeah.
You'll be all right. So give me a second.
Yeah.
All right, it's going to take me a second to figure that out. So you can just introduce yourself while I figure this out.
Okay. I'm John Evans. I'm a partner at LGA Partners. We're the local architectural firm working on the project for the zoo. And then we've got a couple members of our team here as well. So Russ, why don't you go ahead?
I'm Russ Laufer. I'm Senior Project Manager at LGA Partners. I'll be the project manager for the duration for the Pittsburgh side.
All right, and John, you should have the ability to share your screen now.
All right, give me a second here.
Yeah, well, John's bringing that up. Matt Schindler is also on the call. He is our partner architect from Wichita, Kansas, raising his hand there.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
And then we have a couple folks, Jason and Angela are with Siegel Development. They're the owner's rep, working on behalf of the zoo as well.
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
And we also have Jen with the zoo. I think you're familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is everyone able to see the screen, or?
Yes.
All right. We'll walk through pretty briefly. I think the project, and you'll see it is fairly straightforward. This is on the actual grounds of the zoo. We'll just kind of walk through, give you guys a general idea of what we're looking at doing, and we'd love to hear your feedback, any questions and comments. So you can see here the location. The new building is going to be right next to where the elephants are in the zoo. In between, essentially wedged in between the current building that houses the elephants and what's called the TFC, the Tropical Forest Complex. So that's where they have orangutans, and in that building there that you can see. Long term, that building, talking a decade out, may eventually go away and be replaced. But for now, we're trying to kind of wedge this building in that location and give them something that works for what they're trying to do today, but then sort of takes into account what the master plan is looking at doing. You can see here, this is the location on the backside is right where Jumbo Grill is located there on the top of the hill. I think you guys have seen these before. These were the preliminary artistic renderings of what this building is going to look like. Much of the building, especially on the exterior, is more of a backdrop for some of the outdoor animal yards, both today and the future, more than stuff that's accessible to the public. There is a canopy with a viewing window for during the winter and the cooler months, just like very similar to what you have on the elephant barn, and that lets you view into the giraffe day room and see the giraffes when they're indoors. Some interior renderings of the space. The building itself is not going to be accessible to the public. There may be some times where small VIP tours are actually able to access this for some kind of special feeding activities. But in general, really the public is on the front of the building and the outside. The inside of the building is really accessed by the animal care and the zoo staff themselves. wanted to just show, these are some site plans. These have kind of been evolving in terms of the actual building footprint as we've gotten to design. We're really just starting the design process on the actual site and getting into the details with the construction manager. There will be a portion of time where access around this will have to be through the tropical forest building. But in the long term, we've actually found a way that we think we can create an outdoor pedestrian path in between the giraffe barn and the tropical forest building to kind of bring people, we'll widen this area here, bring people through, and that will maintain for the zoo that sort of outdoor access until the time when that tropical forest building comes down. I think you guys are familiar with, the zoo projects and how there's really an attention as well to the landscape and the plantings outside. That's as much a part of the zoo as the animals themselves. And this building is going to be no different. We're going to have kind of a full landscape treatment, making sure that it really fits with what the zoo is trying to achieve today and as part of the master plan. So that's kind of it in summary. Kind of high level overview of what we're looking at, and just wanted to kind of get, your comments, feedback, concerns, and sort of open the dialogue with you guys.
But I have a couple of questions, but I will let other people jump in ahead of me if there are other people that have questions first. All right, I'll just start then. But all right, so thank you. So one question I have, this is not my area of expertise, but I'm guessing there must be some sort of standards in the zoo industry for what type of facility this type of animal needs. Have you guys made sure that this facility meets the quality of care requirements? Or by the licensing? I know the zoo has a license.
Matt, you want to take that one?
That's where we come in, actually. So our firm is in Kansas, but we do work nationally for zoos. That's our specialty, is zoological design. And so that's why we are involved in the project. We are the experts in that subject matter. And we're going to help the building comply with all those standards necessary for animal care and just good general animal welfare and wellness.
Cool. And then I had two questions that I sent by email that I just want to ask officially to get them on the record. You might need to go back to the aerial map or the drawing that the question is where does the staging happen and any like disposal of materials? Is that all within the zoo's sort of fence line? Or is there spillover out into Hess Run, which is the sort of the valley that houses the zoo's parking lot?
This is Jason. John, if you don't mind if I jump in on this one.
That's why I hesitated.
So yeah, we have a very tight project site here. There'll be very little lay down area within our limits of disturbance. We're going to use some areas outside in the zoo back of house area, which is essentially where they a lot of their storage facilities are. The project will also as part of the management, will utilize just in time deliveries. So we're really working towards limiting the need for laydown area. And we do not plan to use the city lot that is also Heth's Run at the lower parking lot area. So that is not part of the plan. That is not that is not an area that anybody's planning on utilizing.
And do you have materials that will have to be disposed of? Like, because I know for city projects, this is always an issue. Like they need to whatever, because they're excavating or whatever, they have to dispose of things, and so they use Hess Run to dispose of things. And so
I guarantee and promise you, we will not be disposing of any materials in Hess Run. As materials are brought out of the ground, they'll be loaded on trucks and exported off-site at other, approved and appropriate disposal sites.
Terrific. Thank you so much for taking care of that, Jen. I bet you had wouldn't be surprised if you had some conversations, since you and I have had some conversations about Hess Run. My last question was, the thing that neighbors tend to be concerned often about is how, particularly in this area, because this is a, One Wild Way, in Lake, whatever that connecting Lake Road is a big access point into the neighborhood. If there'll be any, road closures or detours or any, do you foresee any impacts on traffic?
This is Jason. I'll take that one again. So there's going to be times where there'll be some large deliveries, and there may be I'm going to say like a rolling road closure where you have an escort vehicle and need some traffic control just to allow large deliveries to get in and out of the site. Beyond that, there'll be zero need for true road closures or any detours. And then in terms of contractor parking, we're going to do our best to minimize that, but it will definitely be, not impeding on the day-to-day traffic patterns, around the reservoir or up and down One Wild Place.
And Stephanie, I'd be happy to communicate any road closures as they're scheduled the same way we did with the previous delivery last week, if that's.
Yeah, that'd be great. And also give Zone 5 heads up as well.
Of course, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we will definitely coordinate with Jen and all the local stakeholders that would be affected on a limited basis.
All right. That takes care. Oh, and what's the timeline? You might have said this, I might have missed it because I'm multitasking. So I apologize if you already covered it.
No, we haven't nailed down the final construction schedule, but the intent is to try to begin some construction activity late this year, as long, probably November or so.
Yes.
How long would you anticipate it taking? It's a year-long project, a multi-year project?
Yeah, it's roughly a year long
Mhm.
overall for construction. So there's challenges with when the giraffes can actually be relocated because of the weather, and so we're trying to make sure we hit that timeline. So hopefully we can execute a little quicker. But yeah, roughly a year construction project.
That just occurred to me as you were saying that. So are the giraffes gonna be like having camp at another zoo for a while, or how does that work?
Yeah.
They have camp currently on the site,
Right.
currently at the zoo.
Yeah, so we're also looking at backup options if the giraffes do need to go to another facility. So we are exploring that if need be.
Okay, so right now they might stay on site. You're saying?
Conversation's still in progress.
Okay, great. All right. Well, I have no further questions. Anyone else in the studio audience?
I just want to, as the mother of 2 little kids who love the zoo, just tell you thank you, because we do love the zoo and this is an exciting project and I'm looking forward to being able to take my boys to see it.
Thank you. That's great.
All right. Well, thanks very much. Yeah, I don't think we have any concerns. Wait, Shoshana, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Where are you? Oh, there you are.
Yeah, of course.
Do you need us to write a letter if there's like really no concerns and no issues? They addressed all of our questions, or can you just incorporate that into what you write up?
Yeah, so I have my report, which is basically just like documenting the conversation. There's, in terms of like your RCO status, there's actually no requirement. You don't have to take any sort of stand one way or another. That's up to you, your process.
Okay. All right. Well, since there's no big issues, I am not planning on writing a letter unless for some reason you think you need one from us. Again, sometimes they're like more, I don't want to say controversial, but like concerns from the neighborhood or like zoning variances and that sort of thing. And so we might write a letter in those instances, but it just sounds like we don't doesn't sound like you need one. And so I don't know, unless you want us to write a letter, we probably will just won't write a letter.
Yeah. My question on that would that be helpful to you or to any part of your project or endeavor if we did submit a letter in agreement?
No, this is for the Arts Commission. So, and I don't know, I haven't been in front of them since we did the playground, and I think they're like, I think that like their statutory language has changed, and probably their membership
Right.
has changed. So I'm not really sure like what, like
Yeah.
last time we were in front of them, it was for a playground and they had concerns about the aesthetics and whatever, because it's in a public part of the park. So I'm not sure like how they're
Right.
going to think about this.
No, and similarly, if we, I mean, we would certainly welcome you guys to come to that meeting when it gets to a hearing. I think if there is something that we need, you know, Jennifer will reach out to you guys and just
Okay.
ask. But I think right now, you know, the process should be pretty straightforward. We haven't received their comments yet, but if we do need anything, Jennifer will just reach out, kind of let you know. So.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds great. Thank you so much for reaching out and being
course.
accommodating on the dates and all that.
Yeah, we're excited. Thank you.
All right. So
Yes.
are we. All right.
Thank you,
Thanks so much.
everybody.
Have a great rest of your evening.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.